the island of Alcatraz.
In an effort to dissuade illegal gang members from coming to America, Trump has threatened that he will reopen Alcatraz Island.
Decide to reopen Alcatraz. Can you walk us through that decision?
Did I say what?
To reopen Alcatraz. How will you use it? How did you come up with the idea?
Well, I guess I was supposed to be a movie maker. We started with the movie making and we'll end. I mean, it represents something very strong, very powerful in terms of law and order. Our country needs law and order.
He's all, yeah, we're going to look into that. We're going to look into that. First of all, are you for this idea? Put reopen Alcatraz in the chat below if you're for it, or no, keep Alcatraz closed. The Birdman's memory is still there. That might mean something. Maybe I'll figure that one out. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the Happy Patriots are. If you're in the Quad Club, thank you for watching. 4 videos a day, all the way to the end. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. You can start it with Quad Club, then let us have it on Alcatraz, open or closed. We love Tyrus. Who doesn't like Tyrus, liberals?
It is kind of Tyrus, it is kind of like a nice disincentive if you're in another country to see this and go, maybe I won't go. Or you might self-deport just because you heard about this.
Yeah, as long as they chum the waters up real good. That's all I ask. No, this is a tremendous idea. And we've had 4 years where criminals have had their way. They have nothing to be afraid of. Even if they get arrested, they don't have to worry about bail. So there's really been no fear for the criminal element in this country. They feel like they've been running things. So now you have a place, and I also think this could help him with the issue that people are so worried about, people getting their day in court and where to hold them. So I think what we could do is when we round these illegals up, and we give them, as I talked about, giving them the court date.
Yes.
We will bring them back over where they will be housed at Alcatraz while we wait for that court date as soon as the renovations are finished.
Now that's genius. I hadn't thought of that. Why? How is Tyrus so smart? I never put it together that Trump was threatening Alcatraz because he's getting so much pushback from the judges like Judge Boasberg, saying like, Trump, you can't deport these people. You have to give them due process. And Trump goes, fine, we'll give them due process. We'll hold them in Alcatraz. And then they go, the illegal gang members be like, we don't want due process. Don't make us stay on Alcatraz. One of the most unpleasant, freezing, awful dungeons ever. I took a tour when I was around San Francisco. We took a tour of Alcatraz Island. It was amazing and terrifying at the same time. But I hadn't thought of that strategy. Of course, if the judges are going to push back and say, we demand that you do due process, then you hold these criminal aliens in Alcatraz or in Gitmo.
There's a man spent most of his life behind bars.
Or in that other crumbling facility. What's the one in Fulton County, Georgia, that is the worst prison in America? It's something like 400 stabbings a year. That's more than 1 stabbing a day under Fonnie Willis. It's crumbling. It's falling apart. One of their prisoners got eaten to death by bed bugs. It's like considered a disaster. That's when they were trying to send Trump to.
Alcatraz is, I would say, the ultimate, right? Alcatraz, Sing Sing and Alcatraz, the movies. But it's right now a museum, believe it or not. A lot of people go there. It housed the most violent criminals in the world, and nobody ever escaped. One person almost got there, but they, as you know the story, they found his clothing rather badly ripped up, and it was a lot of shark bites, a lot of problems. Nobody's ever escaped from Alcatraz, and just represented something strong having to do with law and order. We need law and order in this country, and so we're going to look at it. Some of the people up here are going to be working very hard on that, and we had a little conversation. I think it's going to be very interesting. We'll see if we can bring it back in large form, add a lot.
Let that be the holding place for our illegal aliens, and maybe they'll think twice about coming here. That's a good move, Tyrus. I kind of like the way you're thinking here.
Say 2038.
Yes.
You know, so we just added, like, you will go from, you're going to go to El Salvador for now.
Right.
And then once Alcatraz is cleaned up, we'll bring you over where you'll sit in there for you know, what is it? A typical average person, when they're given their court date, when they get across the border here, it's like 10 to 12 years. So within the next 15 to 20 years, you will have your court date. By that time, we'll get all the bells and whistles figured out and everything will be great. In the meantime, enjoy yourself. But don't sleep too hard because Capone got syphilis in here.
Oh,
That's right.
That's gross. And that's true. Capone did get syphilis in there. Al Capone was kept there. Birdman from Alcatraz. Well, Escape from Alcatraz is about that one criminal, that great Clint Eastwood movie. Ooh, that's a good one. They could hold them in El Salvador until we can process them in Alcatraz, put them in our court system. It'll take 6 years for them to get through. That's not our fault. That's Judge Boasberg's fault for overloading the system. It's not Trump's fault. Boasberg's fault. Here's Guy P. Benson, also on the show.
I got it.
yes. Well, Guy, do you think this is a serious thing, or is it more like a symbolic gesture?
I'm not sure, but I kind of like it. And so we all have probably left-wingers in our lives
Yes.
who will send us text messages, sometimes daily, of things that they're horrified by about Trump. It's like every day. It's like, I get it. You oppose him. I'm not going to respond and debate every item. I got several of these today about Alcatraz, just tearing their hair out. Can you
Yes.
believe this? And I read the Truth Social post that they were sending me, and I was like, no, I like it.
Yeah.
I actually responded to him like, I'm actually in favor of this one, because what's the harm? It's an island prison. It's very exciting. It's better view than CCOT has, right?
Yeah.
I think if you have to choose CCOT versus Alcatraz, you're choosing Alcatraz. So I'm sure this is Hollywood related, right? He probably watched the movie. That is.
It is a great movie. And it is why Alcatraz is the most famous prison in the world, because of the movie Escape from Alcatraz. If you haven't watched it, watched it. Most of my audience, you have good taste. You guys have watched it. But he's going like, Trump only brought up Alcatraz because of the movie.
If he does, I say hats off.
Yeah, he also said, we will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges.
Ooh, that's a burn. That was a message to the judges. Will no longer be held hostage by judges. And it's the judges that were gumming up the system and trying to go over Trump's head. So Trump goes, fine, I'll open up a new prison, new jurisdiction. A judge doesn't have a say in that. That's a president can open up Alcatraz just fine for illegals that are coming into this country. I don't know. I think all of this is Trump playing the media, and that they are not going to win this argument of keeping him from deporting these illegals, which they are obviously trying to exercise that. And Trump's just he's not screaming or freaking out. He's not showing them like, oh, I'm crying, I'm worried about what you're going to do. He's very firm, but he's also keeping a sense of humor, and he's controlling the narrative and staying one step ahead of these corrupt Democrat judges that I believe are dismantling America. Because if you and I don't believe in the justice system, you do not have a country. And I don't believe in Democrat judges would ever give me justice.
Even a convict's got a right to breathe. Right? I don't think you know the meaning of the word.
I'm Doug in Exile, and that's why you never put an X next to a Democrat.